my home. These are my books, some of my books. I have a lot of books, um, but those are some of my favorites that I am sharing with you today. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Storytime. All right, in just a few more minutes, we're going to get started. And today I will be reading Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Arthur Turns Green. So I am looking forward to story time today. How's everybody doing today? Please feel free to say your name in the comments below. I can't see who's on, but I'd love to say hello and just see who's here. If you're just joining in on Facebook, I accidentally live streamed on my own personal Facebook account and not the library's. So now we are live on the library's Facebook account. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you all. All right, and in just a few more moments, we're going to get started. But how are you doing? How's everybody? Please leave a comment. Let us know how you're doing. Oh, that's so good. Oh, good, Kelly. Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to be really fun. All right, in just another moment, we're going to get started. Just want to wait for a couple more people to show up. Did anybody have an exciting weekend? Did anybody do anything fun? I know I spent the weekend cooking and baking, and this past week I made pumpkin cheesecake muffins, and they were amazing. Oh my gosh, I've had so much fun baking during all of this. It's been a real treat. All right, I think we've waited long enough and we can get started. So the first book I will be reading today is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I am so sorry for the glare. Hi, Mom. My mom is joining in for story time today. But yes, we are going to get started. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs by Judi Barrett. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, let's get started. Ooh, okay, there we go. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we each could eat, and Grandpa was doing the flipping. Oh, I love pancakes. Pancake morning is my favorite. I actually had French toast this morning, which was honestly the best French toast that I've ever made. It was really good. But pancakes, ooh, I do love myself some pancakes. See? Seconds later, something flew through the air, headed toward the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. Wah, wah. After we realized the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued uneventfully. All the other pancakes landed in the pan, and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. Those must have been some good pancakes. What did you guys have for breakfast today? Did anybody have pancakes today for breakfast? I'm just going to say hi to everybody's here. Hi, Karen. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining. Welcome to story time. We are reading Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and all you've missed so far is that a pancake has landed on Henry's head. It is pancake morning, and boy, do those pancakes look good. Let's see. That night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tale bedtime story he had ever told. Across the ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. And this is when the story gets into color. Oh, I wish I could live in the town of Chew and Swallow, and I think you'll understand why momentarily. In most ways, it was very much like any other town. It had the main street lined with stores, houses, trees, and gardens around them, a schoolhouse about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. But there were two food stores in the town. But there, but there were no food stores. Sorry. But there were no food stores in the town Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could possibly want. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky. So if you could see that right there in the picture, that man's holding his hand out for food. Oh, wouldn't it be so wonderful if the sky rained food? I mean, I would just love pancakes. Hello, Mary Poppins. Oh, it's so good to see you. Welcome to Storytime. Oh, this is such a pleasure. And hello to everybody else who's there. If you're just joining in, please feel free to say hello. It is so good to see all of you. And welcome to Storytime. We are reading Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Whatever the weather served, that was what they ate. But it never rained rain. It never snowed snow. And and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas. And sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers. Yum, 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 yum. Oh my gosh. Look at that delicious rain. What I would give for a burger rain. I mean, I think that would be greasy, but so delicious. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, and napkins with them. That way, they would always be prepared for any kind of weather. If there were leftovers, and there usually were, the people took them home and put them in the refrigerator in case they got hungry between meals. Oh gosh, I mean, look at that beautiful food rain. Oh, so amazing. An umbrella full of orange juice. I am nearly out of orange juice right now, and I do not want to go to the grocery store, so if it could rain orange juice, I would be the happiest person. The menu varied. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny-side eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch, one day, frankfurters, already in their rolls, blew from the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted, and the east brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. And if you look at that, they're in a restaurant that doesn't have a ceiling, because why would you need a ceiling in a restaurant if all the food's coming from the sky? I think that's absolutely incredible. Oh gosh, this story's making me hungry. I don't know about you guys, but I am hungry. Dinner one night consisted of lamb chops becoming heavy at times, with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing, with the wonderful Jell-O setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job for a sanitation department. It had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned the things up after every meal and fed the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for the fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so that the soil would be richer for the people's flower gardens. Oh, look at that. Let's see. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worse. Spaghetti ties up the town. Oh no! Let's see. One day there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. And then the next day there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. Another day there was a pea soup fog, No one could see where they were going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal that got stuck in the fog. Oh, how calamitous. Yes, Mary Poppins, I agree with you. Burgers and fries would be so good right now. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to Storytime. We are reading Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And hello, Beth. Welcome to Storytime. The food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. People were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were... That's my cat. She likes story time too. Let's see. I'm sorry, yes. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, some with seeds, some without. There was a white bread and a rye and a whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen bread and rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. Roofs were damaged, and the sanitation department was beside itself. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds picked at it a bit, but they just stayed there, and they got staler and staler. There was a storm of pancakes one morning, and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the whole town. A huge pancake covered the school. No one could get it off because of the weight, so they had to close the school. Oh gosh. I mean, pancakes are great, but pancakes that big are just overwhelming. Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick the day ended with a stomach ache. Oh, look at those sandwiches. Those do not look like great sandwiches. I would be sick too if I was eating cream cheese and jelly sandwiches, and all of those sandwiches, oh, it's just too much. There was an awful salt and pepper wind, accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. Tomato tornado, try saying that 5 times fast. Tomato tornado, tomato tornado, tomato tornado. Maybe it's not that hard. Okay. People were sneezing themselves silly and running to avoid the tomatoes. The town was a mess. There were seeds and pulp everywhere. Oh, gosh. Could things get any worse than Chew and Swallow? I sure hope not. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many of the houses had been badly damaged by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up, and there was no more school for the children. That sounds kind of familiar. So a decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. It was a matter of survival. I mean, I wouldn't want to leave a place that was raining food, but if the raining food destroyed my house, I guess I'd have to leave. Hi. Hello. Hi. She's deaf. She can't hear any of this, but she loves you all. Let's see. The people glued together giant pieces of stale bread, sandwich style, with peanut butter, took the absolute necessities with them, and set sail on the rafts for a new land. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at a supermarket. They found it odd that food was kept on shelves, packed in boxes, cans, and bottles. Meat that had to be cooked was kept in large refrigerators. Nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. No one ever got hit by a hamburger again, and nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what ever happened to it. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his kiss goodnight. On the next morning, we woke up to see the snow falling out our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we can go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter on top, and we could almost smell the mashed potatoes. Uh, the end. And that is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Thank you guys so much for joining us for that story. And if you're up for it, we do have one more. Oh, Mary Poppins made chocolate chip pancakes yesterday and looks like they were delicious. Oh, I bet they are delicious. Hello, friends at the Phillipstown Hub. Thank you for joining us at Storytime. Our next story today is going to be Arthur Turns Green. As many of you know, last week we had Earth Day, and so why not have a children's book about going green? And who better to tell that than Arthur, one of my favorite characters of all time. Oh man, chocolate frosting rain would be so delicious. I would go out with a bunch of unfrosted cupcakes, and you know what I would do? I would actually just get a tub and then store up all the chocolate frosting and put it all in my fridge, because that, my friend, sounds amazing. All right, so without further ado, Arthur Turns Green. Let's see. Arthur's class was working in the school garden when Mr. Ratburn began to explain their next class project. Let's call this the Big Green Machine, he said. Your job is to find ways to make our planet a better place to live. We'll present all of your ideas at the school family night. So if you guys don't know Arthur, that's Mr. Ratburn right there, their teacher, and that's Arthur. That right there is Buster. That's Muffy and Francine. Or maybe I might have them confused. Either way. Yeah, no, that's Muffy. Okay. On the way home from school, Arthur and his friends talked about their projects. I'm thinking garbage, said Buster, because I love food, and when you don't eat food, it turns into garbage. So maybe I need to eat more? I'm going to sell all my old clothes so other people can use them, said Muffy. Then I could buy new clothes. I'm going to collect soda cans and return them for the deposits, said Binky. I can use the money to save polar bears. What's your project, Arthur? His friends asked. Arthur just smiled. You'll see, he said. At home, Arthur walked around the house making notes to himself. Why are you acting weirder than usual? Asked DW. The big green machine was all Arthur said as he unplugged his mom's cell phone charger. Oh no. Oh man, I'd be upset if Arthur just walked around and unplugged my cell phone charger. But I'm sure he's got a reason for it. After dinner, Arthur changed the light bulbs and the 3 lamps to bulbs that save energy. At bedtime, he took the shortest shower ever and shut off the water while he brushed his teeth. Oh, there we go. Okay. Then Arthur came in to say goodnight to DW and turned off the lights while she was still reading Fluffy, the very special unicorn. Let's see. The next day, Arthur and his friends stayed after school to work on their projects. Is that a picture of your house? Asked Buster. Yes, said Arthur. I found things I can do to save energy in almost every room. Does anybody... I hope you can all see the pictures. Oh man, I miss being in the classroom. But look at all the green. Let's see. Arthur was late for dinner. You owe me big time, said DW. I had to set the table, and that's your job. Sorry, said Arthur. I had to deal with the big green machine at school. Oh, and if you notice, Arthur's fingers are a little green. Arthur's got a green thumb. Then DW noticed Arthur's green hands. That machine is turning Arthur green, she thought. At bedtime, DW found lots of new plants in her room. She heard odd noises coming from the garage. A shadowy figure was sneaking through the yard. Things are getting really creepy here, she thought. Just want to make sure you can see all of the pictures. The next morning at preschool, DW worried about Arthur. There's a big machine that's turning my brother green, DW told her friends. You're making that up, said Tommy and Timmy. Am not, said DW. Come over to my house and see for yourselves. Later that afternoon, Buster helped Arthur and his dad work in the garden. You have a real green thumb, Arthur, said Dad. Me too, joked Buster. I'm still green from working on our projects. And if you can see, Buster's hands are green as well. Let's see. Wow, said Tommy. Arthur's really turning green. Look, said Timmy, so is Buster. Somehow, this big green machine turns everyone green, said DW. Let's see. At dinner, Arthur set the table with cloth napkins instead of paper ones. When his family was finished eating, he checked his watch. Time to go, he said. Go where? Asked DW. Dad is helping with the big green machine at school, Arthur explained. See you later, alligator, said Dad. Oh no, DW thought. Not Dad too. Poor DW thinks that going green means actually turning green. But what exactly is happening to Arthur? I suppose we'll find out soon. That night, DW dreamed about the big green machine that ran around turning everyone green. Then it started chasing her. She woke up just in time. Oh, poor DW, having nightmares about being green. That is scary, though. Have any of you had any scary dreams about green machines? I thankfully don't have any scary dreams about green machines. Scary dreams, green machines. But poor DW does. Let's see. When she went down for breakfast, DW gasped. Dad's hands were green too. Tonight is a family night at school, said Arthur. I'll show you how we can have the big green machine right here at home. I can't go, DW declared. I feel sick, real sick. Oh boy, DW's afraid of turning green, so she's saying that she's sick. I mean, I've had things that I haven't wanted to do before, and I've gotten sick, but she'll find out soon enough. Let's see. But DW didn't have a temperature, so that night the whole family went to Arthur's school. Just before they went in, DW suddenly grabbed Arthur's arm. Help me, cried DW. I don't want the big green machine to turn me green too. It's not what you think, Arthur said. Follow me. We're about to find out what it is. The big green machine is just the name of our class project. It's about all the things we can do to save our planet, said Arthur. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Said DW. Mom smiled and gave Arthur a hug. Then DW read Arthur's poster out loud. Turn your house green. There is the poster for everyone to see. So how can you turn your house green? Oh, there we go. Find ways to reuse things rather than throwing them away. Turn off your computer at night and use the sleep mode when it's not in use. Unplug. Let's see. What does that say? Unplug cell phone chargers when not in use. Use cloth napkins instead of paper ones. Plant a tree to celebrate a special family event. Walk, carpool, or ride your bike to school or take the bus. Turn off your lights when no one needs them. Turn off the water when brushing your teeth. Take short showers and turn off the water while soaping up. Use fluorescent light bulbs. These are all ways that we can help the planet right now, and Arthur figured all that out. Good for Arthur. Back at home, Dad made ice cream sundaes. Then it was time for bed. Arthur and DW turned off the water while they brushed their teeth. It's so funny that you thought the big green machine was turning everyone green, Arthur laughed. Yeah, that was pretty funny, DW agreed. Suddenly, everything went dark. Hey, Arthur said, who turned out all the lights? I did, said DW with a giggle. Looks like I'm turning green too. And that is the end. Thank you so much to everybody who joined me for story time today. We are going to be having another story time on Wednesday with Miss Mary. And I look forward to that. We have story time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1:30 p.m. So I hope to see you all there at our next story time. And on Tuesday nights, we have science experiments with Ryan at 6 o'clock. So please tune in tomorrow, Facebook, Instagram Live, to do Science Night with Ryan. Hope to see you there, and I hope you are all doing so well. Thank you so much again for joining, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Thank you. And see.